What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Arc Junkies Podcast. I just flew into Columbus, Ohio from Quakertown, PA. I'm up here this week for the Automation Conference, which I'm really looking forward to checking out. If the audio sounds a little bit different, it's because I am on a different mic since I'm kind of mobile. I'm not in my home studio this week. So yeah, that's probably just for the intro, though. The episode was actually recorded a couple weeks ago, and the audio, I had all my in-studio stuff set up. But yeah, this past weekend, I was over in Quakertown hanging out with my buddy Kevin Johnson of the Welding Business Owners Podcast. We did the first annual Fabricator Olympics, which was just an amazing event. I think there was a total of 25 fabricators that showed up to win a new welding machine and $1,000 cash. The event was freaking awesome. Kevin put in a lot of time into planning this event, and it showed. Like, all the way down to like the different events, the different stages. It was really cool. So the first event was a timed oxy-fuel cutting test. And then there was a cutting competition with a cutoff wheel to see how many pieces of 5/8 solid round the competitors could cut through with one grinding wheel. And one dude cut like 54 pieces with one wheel. It was just nuts. The competitors also had to build an 8x8 square out of a piece of pencil rod and make it as close to 8 inches by 8 inches as possible and as square as possible, but they couldn't use a tape measure or a square. So they had to freehand cut all this stuff with a cutoff wheel and then tack it together. And then they got graded on their time and how square that piece actually was and how dimensionally tolerant it was. So, that's a hell of a challenge right there. They also had to drill a half-inch hole through a 1-inch plate, which seems relatively simple, but it was timed, and some people really had a hard time with that one. I mean, you really can't bear down on a drill bit and expect it to work, as some of those folks found out. Once the competition was finished, the top 5 competed to build a fabrication project, and they were graded on time and accuracy, so the competitors were actually able to use tape measures and squares, but everything had to be freehand cut with a cutoff wheel. They had to build it completely square, weld it up. Like I said, it was a timed event, so whoever was the fastest was, and the most accurate was going to be the winner. And for every 16th of an inch that they were out, whether it was square or with their dimensions, we added 15 seconds to their time. So it was a pretty cool event. I mean, the event overall, it was a lot of fun. I want to give Kevin a huge thank you once again for including me and having me out there as a judge. I can't wait to do it again next year, and possibly we were talking, it might go to different areas of the U.S. So, I mean, who knows? There could be a Fabricator Olympics in your neck of the woods sometime soon. In this week's episode, I'm talking with Jonathon Herrera from Pearl Snap Pimps. Jonathan is a combination welder and works a lot of different jobs doing contract work for the Department of Defense. Jonathan's been all over performing his craft, from various parts of the continental U.S. to Europe and most recently Hawaii. He's got a really cool story how he got started and how he's continued to stay on that grind and keep pushing himself to the next level. We'll get right into the episode after a quick word from the folks that help keep the lights on in the BuzzBox studio. Today's episode of the Arc Junkies Podcast is brought to you by Rockmount Research and Alloys. You've heard all about Rockmount's amazing rods and wires, but did you know they carry a full line of off-trail hoods and papper systems? As welders, we operate in some of the toughest environments, welding on steel, aluminum, and other base metals, cutting, grinding, blending, and polishing. Everything we do produces either dust, particulates, or fumes. Protect your lungs and your career by investing in the highest quality equipment. I recently purchased a Swiss Air system from Rockmount that's made by Optrel. With all the welding, cutting, and grinding I'm either doing myself or in the vicinity of, I finally broke down and pulled the trigger on a papper system to give myself more protection while performing the work that I love. Rockmount is the national demonstration partner of Optrel. You can contact them today to schedule a demo for your shop to see if their hoods and papper systems are right for you and your team. And as always, if you buy $250 or more on rockmountwelding.com, you can get a free 1-pound tube of Tartan AAA when you use AJP at checkout. Get the job done right the first time, every time with Rockmount. We're also brought to you by CK Worldwide. Are you tired of settling for subpar TIG welding equipment? Look no further than CK Worldwide, the industry leader in innovative and reliable TIG welding solutions. CK has more patents on product design and improvements than anyone else, and they set the standard for TIG welding. Whether you're a professional welder or a welding hobbyist, their exclusive innovations like gas saver kits, max flow water cooling technology, wedge collets, They make your TIG welding process smoother and more efficient than ever before. And now, CK is excited to announce the launch of their new MT375, a 375 amp AC/DC TIG welder with a dual water pump cooler, cart, torch package, and more. This new powerful welding machine is packed with a newly patented 2-in-1 steady grip foot pedal that incorporates a fingertip control into a foot pedal for a variety of different applications. Don't settle for subpar equipment. Choose CK Worldwide to experience quality and performance. With a reputation built on decades of experience and dedication to innovation, CK Worldwide is the only choice for top-of-the-line TIG welding equipment. Visit ckworldwide.com and use the Find a Dealer tab to locate a dealer closest to you. We're also brought to you by Outlaw Leather. Dive into the world of Outlaw Leather, where it's not just about crafting welding accessories, but fashioning quality gear for your welding journey. Each item they produce tells a tale, meticulously handcrafted for those who dare to stand out. Embrace the fusion of passion and precision with Outlaw's unique leather welding hoods, offering unmatched protection with a touch that resonates your journey. Revel in unparalleled comfort with their leather arm pads, a testament to their dedication in blending practicality with craftsmanship. And for our iron workers out there that are shaping the world, find your perfect match in bolt bags, rod pouches, and scabbards. Every tool deserves its spot, and with Outlaw's keen eye for attention to detail, you won't miss a beat. And Outlaw has a deal exclusively for Arc Junkies Podcast listeners. You can enjoy 15% discount off all in-stock handmade leather goods when you use Arc Junkies in the discount box at checkout when you shop outlawleather.com. Step into a legacy with Outlaw Leather. All right, y'all know what time it is. Fire up your machine, drop your hood, and turn me up 5.
Thank you for downloading show number 297 of the Arc Junkies Podcast.
You're listening to the Arc Junkies Podcast, helping you make every weld better than your last with each episode. And now your host, Jason Becker.
That just aligns the audio with the video.
I remember you told me that trick. Damn, dude, you helped me out a lot with that, man. I swear, that was like the hardest time of my life. Like I became best friends with the Geek Squad. Like, I was
over
out
at Best Buy?
Yeah, or Best Buy, yeah. Because dude, online stuff sucks. I feel like an old man sometimes.
Oh yeah, dude. Like how old are you?
25.
Oh damn, yeah, you're still a young buck. I was gonna say, but like we I grew up on that in that age of like the internet just came about in the mid 90s. So like we grew up with analog, and then slowly migrated into digital. So like some of the stuff kids are doing today, it's just like beyond me. Like you get them old timers that are like, I don't need that stuff.
Dude, that's how I felt. But like whenever you're trying to show me the stuff for the YouTube and stuff like that, bro, there's a lot more to it. And then like there's like, oh my god, dude,
the editing.
The editing, yeah, like I had no idea how hard that was. And like I was like 6 hours ahead from you, and I like try to like message you like, dude, do you know this? Because I tried to like look up on YouTube, try to do it on myself, wouldn't work. Go to Geek Squad, like, oh,
yeah, it's some stupid setting.
Thank you.
Oh, dude, I freak out with that because like I'll take my board and stuff to like FabTech or these different events, and it never fails. Like one little setting changes or there's an update, and then it's like last night I'm trying to figure out, I'm like, why can't I get my headphones to connect back to my computer? I reconfigured everything, when I got back from FabTech, because I took pretty much my entire studio with me and then brought it back and had to link everything back up, and the audio's not working. Yeah, I threw everything in a Pelican Air case.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then so I hook everything up, and I'm not getting any audio, and I'm like, oh shit, like freaking out because like you're gonna be here, the next day.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, I got to get this like figured out like fast, and it was just some stupid little setting that I found. I just restarted the computer, and then everything worked, and I was like, oh fuck, thank God.
Jared from Geek Squad in Hawaii.
Shout out, Jared. Shout out. It's not the same Jared from Subway, is it?
I hope not.
Oh, thank God.
I hope not.
That'd be crazy. So what's up, man? How you been?
Dude, I'm good. I'm like so happy right now to be here. We flew in Friday, hung out with Ronnie Bowen for a little bit on Friday, had some dinner, recorded some really cool stuff yesterday at his house till like midnight. We're here right now. We're doing this podcast. Super cool to be here, man. Flying back to Atlanta here in a couple hours after this, and back to normal life again, back to work.
Busy
and,
man. This is a hell of a weekend.
It was a good weekend, man. Like, honestly, like, it couldn't have worked out better because I was, like, seeing the rain and all that stuff. I'm like, damn, we're about to go to Florida and there's going to be a hurricane.
Middle of hurricane
like that.
season. Yeah, come
like,
on down.
Shit, come on. We'll get some bottles or something like that.
Right.
Watch the hurricane come.
That's the thing, man. That's all you can do is, like, if you're not evacuating out of the state, you just go to the store, pick up a couple bottles, just hang out.
Dude,
party.
Florida people were just different like that. Like, they're literally watching nature about to come destroy their land, and they're like, hell yeah.
You just sit on the front porch and watch it.
yeah. They're
As long
out
as
there
nothing's
recording.
flying
They got an
around.
American flag just chilling right there. Like, we're in the storm. You know what I'm saying?
Florida's a different breed of people, man.
It is, dude. But I like it. It's nice. I've been pretty much everywhere, and Florida's always like it's Florida,
Right.
The beach and everything is cool. Everyone's pretty cool. A lot less rules, I feel like, than Georgia. Georgia's like hella strict on
Yeah.
a bunch of stuff like that.
Little tight.
Little tight.
Yeah.
A little tight.
Yeah, because you traveled all over the place. Like, we first met via Instagram,
Yeah.
and you were out in Hawaii.
Yep. I just so I had just gotten that job for Hawaii, and but right before I went, I flew down to Florida to Melbourne or whatever. Saw Lucky and Ronnie, and we kind of created like the first podcast for Pearl Snap Pimps when that was going on, and that's when I was kind of talking to you when I got to Hawaii, because I was like, all right, I just filmed this. I got to edit this in Hawaii, so I was like 6 hours ahead or behind you, trying to like ask you questions, and then like it'd be like a one business day later kind of deal.
Right.
And I'd be like trying to like work on something, like I just, whenever he responds, I'll work on it tomorrow or whatever. But yeah, Hawaii was super sick. I was welding at Pearl Harbor out there, running a really big job. I was there for like 7 months. Me and my buddy Justin Wellborn from Kentucky, we drug up on this company that we're working for at IFM in Kentucky. They're awesome company, but when opportunity comes, you got to take that.
Mhm.
And is Hawaii, so they're kind of like, if you guys don't like take that, like, we're gonna be mad at you,
Yeah.
And
Like, how you pass up on that opportunity?
it was crazy how I got that job. Like, a lot of people like ask me like, how do you get these jobs, and like, how do you do this? It's a little bit of luck, but like you gotta try. Like, I called this company, I found the job, and Indeed, like, we're doing like some bullshit like Bolt Up or something like that. We had not done anything for like a month. We were getting like 35 and like 125, and they paid us for 40 hours for like a month to just show up, because we're like on pre outage or whatever.
Mhm.
So dude, it was so freaking boring. And like we thought like we weren't even gonna work. Like, it was like we had it made so good that like it was like, what the heck is this? Like every day, like having to watch Netflix and YouTube and
That
like
sounds horrible.
eat so many snacks and like sleep in the truck, and then like we had breaks, so we had to take lunch and like first break and second break.
How did you survive?
Dude, phone charger. Phone charger, and then like they had like these little mini trucks. We like ride those little things around. Like sometimes they'd have us like go check on some stuff, but put some music on and kind of take off. But anyways, on one of our breaks, I was in the truck, going through an Indeed. I was like, dude, winter's about to come up. It's about to be cold. I was like, what if we found a job in Hawaii? And like, I kind of looked some stuff up, and I saw one, and they're like needing welders or whatever. And so I applied to it, but I was like, damn, I've always wanted to go to Hawaii. And there's a job in Hawaii that I could maybe get. And if I got it, I'd like escape the winter. So I was like, all right, we're going to have to do something different. So I kind of looked up the company name on the internet and found their website, kind of researched them a little bit, found the phone number, and literally for like 4 days straight, every day, like on that 9 o'clock break, I would call the office, be like, hey, my name's Johnny Herrera. I applied to your company. I'd like to speak to somebody that's running the job, just to kind of like get them to know who I am. But I'm really interested in the job, And I'd be like, oh, okay. They're not here in the office today. You can leave a message or whatever. Like, okay. Next day, call again. Same thing. Next day, call again. Same thing. And like, I was like the fourth day, I'm like, we're sitting in the truck, on our phones. I'm like, dude, should I call him again? Or do you think I'm being a little annoying? Like, do you think they're like, dude, this guy calling again?
Persistency pays off.
And
man.
he's like, no, dude, like, keep calling him, because then they're gonna be like, okay, like this guy really wants this job or whatever. So like, I was like, okay. I was like, you call him. He's like, nah, you've already been talking to him. I was like, fuck. So I was like, all right. So I call him one more time. It was like Thursday, and she goes, hey, Johnny. I was like, yeah, how you doing? I was like, how are you doing today? By
First
the
name
way,
basis now.
Yeah. And she's like, all right, he's not here today, but he's in a job coming back from Florida. I'll give you his phone number, send him a text, and then like you guys can talk. I was like, perfect. That's all I needed. Cause like once you kind of like get in this game, like you know how to like talk to people, how to kind of represent yourself, and like if you want a job, like you can get it. You know, I like pretty much did that. So I get the guy's number, and we're at the gym working out and stuff like that, trying to get gains. And he texts me. He's like, hey, I'm about to call you. You free? And I'm over here like in the middle of like a set. I'm like, yeah, I'm free. Texted. And I swear to God, like we're doing squats, and like my phone starts ringing because I was like, oh, he's gonna call, whatever. And like we're doing squats or stuff like that, and it goes ding 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 or whatever, and I'm like, oh shit, I'm like rack it, like we literally just racked that thing, almost flipped the damn the workout the stand or whatever, and I'm like breathing heavy. I run outside, answer it, hello. Hey, let's go.
Try to play it cool.
Yeah, just try to play it cool. And I put it on mute for a second. I was like, like, try to catch my breath. And pretty much, I talked to the guy. I was like, hey, my name is Jonathon Herrera. I'm a pipe welder. I've been doing this for so long. I'm a combo welder. I can do stainless, this, and that. We also do like, I can do fabrication. Like I told him like everything I can do. And like, we kind of just started talking about the job, what it was like. And like so he's kind of like interviewing me just based on like what I say and stuff like that, to see if like I know what I'm talking about. Cause like a lot of people can say like, oh yeah, I'm a welder, but like, all right, what can you do? Or like just based off talking to somebody, you can tell if they're the real deal or not,
right.
And all I needed was like 45 minutes of bullshitting with him. And he's like, all right, well, let's set up a weld test. I'm like, the only thing is we're working right here in Kentucky, and we're doing an outage right now. I was like, but we'll make time for a weld test. He's like, can you come next Saturday or whatever? Me and Justin had been working like 7/12s or whatever. Like the outage was like going on, and with that plant, we had to take like a fatigue day after 14 days or whatever. Mm-hmm. So I was like, all right, our fatigue day is gonna be Saturday. We're gonna go test. We got done working that day. Drove all night to Alabama from Kentucky, and then Saturday morning took our weld test, stopped by Nashville on the way back home to do a little celebration, and we went back to work, and they called us like, all right, when can you start next week? We're like, we could, but like these guys that we're working for right now, they've actually like treated us good. They like us, and like sometimes like dragging up is like, fuck it, let's drag up. But like this company, the guys have treated us really, really good, and we're like, they're about to finish the outage, and like we're like kind of like a big deal in there and stuff like that. So we're like, can we give them like one more week just to we'll still be cutting out like a week early, but I want to give them one more week,
at least give them a heads up, get you replaced.
Yeah. So that, and they respected the hell out of that, and they're like all so thankful, and we got out of there, man, and the job got delayed in Hawaii because there's a humongous like fuel spill or something like that. So like everything got shut down over there, and we worked in the States. We started doing so this company I work for, we do military jet fuel aviation pipe systems, and so they're like, all right, well the Hawaii stuff's like kind of backed up for a second. We'll send you to like California, a couple other bases, do some work there, and whenever Hawaii pops off, we'll send you. And we're like, oh, like we just quit our job, and like these guys said we're going to Hawaii, like we're going to California, like, oh,
You're
what
getting
did
closer.
what did we just do? Like, because it felt like unreal, the Hawaii thing. When I went to Europe and worked too, like it all feels unreal until like you're on the plane,
Mm-hmm.
Finally, we got that call and they sent us our tickets and stuff like that. Went out to Hawaii, man, and geez, Hawaii, beautiful, man. And
I haven't been yet.
I've never even been. I've just seen it like on TV and stuff like that, and it's incredible. Like nothing like TV. Like so much like pretty in person, like the nature and all that. But we're doing a really big job at Pearl Harbor. I'm over here working by the big ships, the submarines. We're doing some like X-classified work in the mountains, like underground tunnels and stuff like that. Out there riding like electric bikes to work and stuff like that. Like it's funny. There's this one time I was coming down the elevator to this X-classified kind of facility underground, and I'm just like listening to music. My crew's over there working, and I had to go make a phone call. No service underground. And I'm coming down the elevator, and it opens up, and there's like, I kid you not, like 20 military people, like 5 people like in suits, like I look like some Men in Black shit. Like I was like, "Hey, how's it going, guys? You guys doing all right?" And they're like, "Oh, how you doing?" And like I just walked in between like all these like big dogs. Like they could have been like, whatever, and I gotta go to work. Can I just squeeze by you guys real quick? But it was a crazy experience. It was definitely the most strictest job I ever worked for, because we're dealing with Pearl Harbor, Joint Task Force, the Navy, the Corps of Engineers. We had marine chemists,
Holy shit.
and then we had like not the general, but like the commander and stuff like that. They would come through and like check on stuff like that. And there would be big people walking through all the time. Really, really, really big project that not a lot of people really know about. But that was awesome. Did a lot of stuff in Hawaii. And I'm back over here trying to run Pearl Snap Pimps.
Nice, man.
Get that rolling.
So like you've been to Hawaii, you've been to Europe, you've been all across the United States. Where'd you learn how to weld?
So I went out of high school. I was kind of like working at Chick-fil-A like every Saturday, like in high school, just to like pay for gas and stuff like that. And, I come from like a Mexican family or whatever. And, everyone in my family didn't go to college. And my dad's like, you need to go to college. You have to. Or what it was more like, I feel it was like more like a him, because like he didn't go.
Mm-hmm.
But like school was just, it wasn't for me. I had good grades, but like I liked hands-on or whatever, and I dropped out like the first semester, and I was like, fuck that. But I was like digging ditches for a while, doing fiber optics. I became like the shovel king. I learned how to dig with a shovel on that job, and we did a bunch of stuff for like the Mercedes-Benz Stadium, the new one in Atlanta, the Braves Stadium, fiber optics all over the big companies. But my cousin was welding. He got out of high school, and he got a full ride to Tulsa. And I didn't even weld in high school. I didn't even think about welding. But he graduates, and like he starts like showing me his paychecks. I'm like, yo, what? Like you just graduated, and like you're making like 2,000-3,000 a week, and like I'm over here making $12 an hour. And I was like, all right, I need to switch it up, because like I was like 17, working with a bunch of like 40-year-olds, and they're all kind of like shot out people and like just pieces of crap to me. And I quit that job and was doing landscape with my uncles for a little while. And I made the decision to go to welding school. And at the time, there was only Tulsa, MWI, Missouri Welding Institute, and KWI, Kentucky Welding Institute, had like been open for like 3 years. But I was like, if I'm gonna do this, like I gotta go all out. I gotta go to like the best school, the best bang for my buck,
Mm-hmm.
And so like I made the tour. I drove like the 6 hours by myself to Kentucky and did the like the walkthrough and stuff about the school. And everyone out there was like with their parents, and like their family and stuff like that. And I'm over here like by myself. I just got in from like Atlanta or whatever. And we're like walking. There is like this one area where it's like the 100K club. And kind of everybody walked out. And I was kind of just still standing there like looking at it like, damn, like these guys are making 100,000. And Ashley, one of the instructors, he's like, hey, everything all right? I was like, yeah. I was just looking.
Staring at the hoods?
Staring at the hoods, yeah. I was like, I really want to come to school here. He's like, oh, we'd love to have you or whatever, you know. Ashley Applegate's real nice guy if you ever meet him.
Great dude.
He's like, yeah, like these guys did it. And I was like, if I come to school here, I was like, I'm going to be on that wall. I'm going to be on that 100K club. And like at the time, there wasn't like, the Welding game wasn't really that crazy. Outlaw Leather had like kind of like, I don't know if they had just started popping or like there wasn't nobody really wearing like the Outlaw Leather hoods really that I saw or anybody. And I was like, if I come to school here, I'm gonna have the first Outlaw Leather hood like on the wall, you know. He's like, all right, because there was just some sugar scoops. There was like only like 700K club people or a little bit less. So I was like, I'm gonna be the next one. I went to school there. Had never welded before. It was probably it was definitely the hardest thing I've ever done is learning how to weld. Just because, you know, you can learn how to weld, but like to learn how to weld good and learn how to weld right and learn how to weld like at the top level, like with how that school teaches you, like it's hard. Or at least it was for me, just because like, I don't know, like, some people have it, some people don't. Some people just have to work for it, you know. And man, I was struggling through the school. It was really, really hard. But like, I'm 15,000 in, you know. A lot of these kids that go to school there, their parents pay for it or whatever, and they're like they're out there like hanging out in the booths talking. I'm over here like
they don't see the value.
I got like freaking 20 like pieces of pipe stacked up on each other. It looks like the Eiffel Towers in my damn booth, like just welds that I've been fucking up on, you know, just trying to learn. And so the school at the time only was doing like 8-hour shifts, and I was like, I need extra hours. I need to like, can I stay? They're like, no, we don't really do that. We don't really offer that. I was like, listen, I want this bad, but like I suck. Like I need to practice. And so we kind of made like this deal where I like took over their social media and kind of like started making like all I had to do was make one post a day for them, and like it gave me access to weld like the second shift, or it was only for like, it was supposed to be only for like a couple hours or something like that, but like I took full advantage of it, and I was there like a whole other shift till like 10 o'clock. And between that, like I paid for all of my rent for the 6 months I was there, so all I had to do was pay for my gas and food. My car was paid off. And I would go to work at this tractor store, like right down the street. And I ended up working there for like an hour between first shift and second shift. I'd go over there, grab some lunch on the way down there, because I wouldn't take lunch. I would work through lunch and work for an hour, grab a tractor, take a video or a picture of it, load it up on their website. And then once that hour was over, I would go back to school and pretty much weld till like 10 o'clock, get home. By the time I got home, I'd like study a little bit for the exams or whatever. And I'd be getting to bed like around 11:30 every night. So bro, like eating pizza rolls every night. Like that was my dinner. And I did that like 16 hours a day, I swear, it wasn't the full time because I wasn't able at the beginning, but it was definitely like a good 4 or 5 months of like hardcore 16 hours, you know, putting in that work. And, you know, even when I graduated, like I wasn't good. Like you get good when you get out of school,
when you get in the field,
and you're like learning it and like just learning from all the good welders on the job. They teach you stuff. If you like show that you want to learn, if you share that like you take pride or like care, you're not like all cocky or whatever, like, man, there's some knowledge out there.
Yeah, they'll teach you, but you've got to be receptive to the information. They're not just going to teach any.
They're not going to waste their time.
Want it. Yeah,
they're not going to waste their time.
You got to show them you got the work ethic.
Yeah. So finally I graduated the welding school, and like right before I graduated, I had gotten home from like another 16-hour day, and I was like in my underwear on the couch, like eating pizza rolls, like scrolling on Indeed. I was like, because like towards the end, like they say, like start looking for jobs, like start applying because you know you need to start getting that in the works, you know. And saw a job on Indeed for a job in Europe, working in the Czech Republic. They're going to be rebuilding a U.S. embassy out there, and I was like, oh, let's look at that. Like, how crazy. That looks so, like, fake or whatever. And I was like, let me apply to it or whatever. I applied to it, and literally the next day they called me. Like, hey, we saw your resume, da-da-da. It looks awesome. And, like, it was kind of like, you got to, like, fake it till you make it. At the beginning, you got to, like, kind of bullshit your resume. But, like, you have to also be, if you're going to bullshit your resume, you got to be able to, like, back it up. You got to back it up. And, like, I think I was, like... 19 at the time. I'm talking to this person, and then like I told the school, I was like, I got this job, like these people were like calling me about it. I'm like over here, like I'm welding in the booth, and they called me, and like I freaking ran out, and I'm in the office with like Ashley and them, and I'm like, they're like asking me questions, and I'm like, all right. And then like I say something, and like, so they kind of like helped me out. Like my first like real like phone call, it was the first like over the phone interview, and then they interviewed me like. They're like, all right, we liked what you said. And then like 2 days later, I did another over the phone interview with somebody else. And then they liked what I said. And then there was one more phone call with like the guy running the job. And he's like, hey, my name's Jonathan too. This is it. And literally after that, he's like, all right, we're going to get you a plane ticket. When do you think you can come? I'm like, I'm still in Kentucky. I'm like, next week. And
were you like close enough to graduation to where?
Yeah. I was already
pop, smoke, and bounce.
Whenever all that happened, it was like right at the end. And I actually sat at home for like 2 weeks waiting on that because it was a lot of like government clearances, backgrounds, and just a bunch of paperwork that had to be done. And like that felt unreal too. You know, I just graduated welding school, didn't know how to weld, and then like somehow got lucky enough to land this opportunity, you know. And like me not knowing how to weld like that, or not weld like weld good or whatever, like not being in, but like you got to start somewhere, you know. And mine just started in Europe welding at the US embassy over there. And you know, I learned how to freaking run some 7018 because that's all we ran was 7018 on everything. We're building some bulletproof safe havens around there, like the embassy, like upgrading security and just doing some really crazy stuff on like a 500-year-old like building that used to be like somebody's mansion, and they used to ride their horse through their house and stuff like that, the old times, you know. And like I was out there, I was like 19, and I had like 4 helpers, like they're all like Romanian or like Turkish or like some other like whatever. And like I'm over here, I've never been to Europe and never talked to, you know, European people, and then I was over here working with them, like so like I had to like figure out how to talk to them and stuff like that. I'm over here like in America this is a hammer, and Romania, what do you call it? Like chokan, and like I don't know, we kind of just started like learning how to talk to each other like that. And then they started teaching me cuss words, and that was kind of
the first thing you learned.
That was kind of like the end of it, you know. We just became best friends, sort of. I'm like 19, best friends with like these like 40-year-old like Romanian guys that like we can't even speak the same language, but like we're out here working every day, working together, and like, you know, having to make shit work. Like over there in Europe is definitely not anything like in the U.S. construction at all. Like material is a lot harder to get. You can't just get tools like we got to use European stuff, and it's just a lot of like, it's very hard. And then like working at the embassy, you can't really like order tools or like order like anything like very, I don't know, it was just really hard like to get stuff in, or it's just working for the government's a lot different.
A lot of red tape. Yeah,
a lot of red tape.
A lot of improvising.
Yeah, but like, I mean, shoot, man, that was an incredible experience at 19, you know, and not, you know, just because I didn't know how to weld for like, I had just gotten into welding, but like I had a work ethic. I had done other work. I know how to like hustle. I know how to like work with people and like, you know, motivate them to like, let's hustle on this or whatever. I know how to like I knew how to like do all the basic stuff, but like the fabricating and all that, I'd never done that, but you know, you put yourself in that situation, you got to figure that shit out,
real quick, yeah.
real fucking quick. And, a lot of times that you're like talking to people, at the beginning, you're like shaking your head, like knowing what they're talking about. You're like, then you like ask, don't be like,
no idea.
Yeah. Like, what did, so one more time, like what it right here. So we're on, there's like the ways that you can like talk and not sound like you don't know like what the hell you're talking about, but like, I was learning all that like right there on the spot. I had to. I'm literally across the country in a different part of the world,
across the globe, yeah.
Like running this work, doing this work, like the main person doing this work. Like so, you kind of like gotta figure it out, or else you're gonna be out the door, And I didn't want to. I loved Europe. It was a beautiful place. Welding's crazy. Like the amount of people you get to meet and network with, and small world.
Yeah, we were talking about that earlier. That's a small world. I mean, and the cool thing is, we got to link up via Instagram. You got to meet some other people via Instagram, and then fly out to meet them in real life. In person.
Yeah. I had spoke with like Hand Tight Garage in Hawaii before. Like I didn't even know he lived in Oahu. When I was over there, got to meet him. Did a little podcast with him, and he's a super cool guy. And just like a lot of people I'm friends with. Like I'm not really big on social media, but like my circles, I got some heavy hitters by my side. I know I'm very well networked with a lot of people, and that's what the welding is all about. Is like who you know, and who you know is gonna take you to the next step, or whatever opportunity you're looking for. Like there's somebody that's gonna be able to help you.
Yeah, the people in your circle are gonna determine your destination
for sure.
And that's I kind of feel bad for a lot of people. They get hung up with, I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going to be able to do anything. I don't have access to these opportunities. You kind of have to change the people that you're around.
Definitely.
Because if you're hanging out with a bunch of people that don't have goals, they don't have aspirations, they've got, they're just comfortable.
They're just comfortable, like
they don't have the drive. Exactly.
That.
Like you've got to start, hanging out with people that they've got that drive, they got that determination, they've got goals, they want to do things.
Definitely.
If you want to be whatever you want to be, like you find the people that are already doing that, and you figure out a way to get in that circle, and they're just going to build you up.
Right.
I mean, it's crazy how it works, but I mean, like the school of, or the circle of people that I hang with, I mean, we've all got goals and aspirations and things we want to do with our life. And it wasn't until I started hanging out with those type of people that I realized, oh shit, like I can do this. I do have access to these opportunities. I don't have to just work my 40 and go home and be miserable. I can attain different things by hanging out with people that are already doing that.
Yeah, for sure. And like honestly, I'm 25, but like as I get older, like all these things that like you grow up like hearing like from these older people, like you are who you hang out with, and like all that stuff, to make sense. Like you know what they're saying to you, but because you're young and dumb and like you think, I don't even know how to describe it. Just because you're young, and like you think like whoever's like, like whatever you're saying, like yeah. But like now that I'm a little bit older, but like I realize all these sayings that like everyone's telling me. They're like, damn, like life is hard. Like girls are crazy, like just a bunch of sayings is so true, and it's like damn. But like I think what's hard is like when you're young. Everything comes in one ear and goes out the other. Especially when like an adult's talking to you.
Yep.
Not like I'm not saying like I don't listen to what people say, but like like how you're saying like I think whenever you're younger, you have all these friends from like high school and you're still stuck around them, but like everyone has comes from different parts of their life, and like some is better than the other, and like eventually once people get out of their mom's house or whatever and they start living on their own, they're either going to be comfortable with like you're saying, going to that 9 to 5 or whatever, or there's going to be the people that stay broke forever, or the people that don't change, and then there's going to be people that was all that and see more to life or whatever, and they do everything to change it. But like a lot of people, like I was bad about it too. Like I've always had a lot of friends. I've always been, pretty popular with, in high school and just knowing a bunch of people because I'm a friendly person. I'm friendly with everybody. And, but I just had so many friends and like try to hang out with everybody out of high school. And, it like, there's a moment where you gotta like kind of like decide like I need to branch out. I need to get away from like the partying or get away from like, just hanging out and like not doing shit, like just going to work, like get away from that and go after what you like or what's going to make you money or whatever. Like go after that and then like surround yourself with people on the same mission or the same goal. And it's hard to like cut people off because like these people are your friends, and like you don't want to just like cut somebody off. Like it's been your friend for like forever, but like I found out that like that's like it's the hardest thing. But like it's once you do that, like you see like you're like breaking away from.
It's like a big difference.
You're like breaking away from, I guess I don't know, like normality, or is that even a word?
Yeah, sure, we'll go with that.
Like you're breaking away and you're branching out to what you're born to do, or like whatever your life is going to take you,
Yeah, I had Mike Miller on the podcast. We did an episode on like mental health.
Yeah.
And that was part of one of the things we discussed is like the people that you hang out with. Yeah, I mean like these people are friends, they're family. You've been with them, you've got like you got history.
Yeah.
But they're not going the same place that you're going, and
they don't have the
mentality. Exactly. A lot of times, that's what's holding you back. So you branch out, you start finding other people that have the same goals and aspirations or things that you want out of life. You see, somebody that's more successful. They've got the car that you want. They do the travel that you want to do. They live in the house that you like. Like all that stuff. You start hanging out with those people, figure out. How did they get it? Where did they start? What can I do to get there? They start building you up and bringing you to that next level.
Right.
But if you're still hanging out with the same kids from high school, and that's all you're doing is, you're going to your part-time job and then you're partying on the weekends and
every weekend.
Yeah, exactly.
You're living for
weekends.
The weekend.
Exactly. Yeah. You're not going to grow. You're not going to go anywhere. And for some people, that's fine. They're content with that. Like me, every job I had, it was like, there's got to be something more. Like I want to take that next step. I want to, go to that next level. Like you were saying earlier, kind of climb that next rung on the ladder. Like how do I get there? You start finding the people that are doing it and associating with them. Next thing you know, man, you're moving up that ladder pretty damn quick.
They know somebody that can help you out or that they're, relationship with or whatever. And
the networking like aspect, huge. But I mean, like you just align yourself with those people that they're motivated to do the things.
Yeah.
And
I think, a lot of it is like a lot of people don't like leave their hometown or like they just stay in that area with all the like toxic stuff or whatever, and like you're never gonna get out of that situation unless you get out of the situation.
Yeah,
like the welding, I was kind of forced to like get out of it and meet new people and network like I have. And dude, I have friends all over the world, like literally friends that I could like go stay on their couch all over the world, and it's taught me a lot about relationships too, like when I meet people, like I don't want you just like, oh yeah, I met Johnny, like I want to like leave an impression, like, like dang, like I met Johnny, or not like saying like I'm anything, whatever, but like how he talks or like, I don't know, like I don't want to just like, I want to leave an impression, with the conversation we had, like a connection. I want to have a connection with people. I like getting to know people, what they like, how they are. And with working in different places of the world and meeting different kinds of people, I've just gotten so good at like adapting to like I can be friends with anybody. Like I can talk to anybody. I know how to talk to real professional business people, or like I can be friends with just this random guy on the street. I can make this cop that's about to give us a ticket, kind of like, talk my shit or, I don't know, like you just kind of get good at it. But by doing that, it helps you with like, now that I got my business like going, it helps you have the communication skills to talk to people, and you're not like afraid to like, there's an opportunity to like go after it or introduce yourself to opportunities or to people or whatever, you gotta, Well, I think Welding has definitely like helped me build like not that confidence, but like believe in yourself.
Mhm.
You know, because like I think growing up and stuff, like you're trying to figure out who you are, what you're gonna do for the rest of your life, where you're gonna live at, and this and that, and like sometimes like you get like try to get validation from like your parents or like the people you care about and stuff like that, and like that's really important. But like I think something that like is really important is like finding yourself and like figuring out what it is that who you are and then believing in yourself and not giving a shit about what anybody else thinks or does or what they got to say to you or whatever, cuz like at the end of the day it's your happiness, your life, and about you. And like I think a lot of the time, like me growing up, I was like trying to please everybody, and like but like I was going crazy, like trying to like I'd be working 7/12s for months, and I'd come home for like a weekend and like try to go see my mom, dad, brothers, sisters, cousins. Like I have a humongous family, and like I would do that every single time, and like I was going crazy. Like I would not feel relaxed or like my come home vacation or whatever. I wouldn't even take vacations. My vacations would be
Stress.
going home, and like it'd just be so tiring driving around. And like it just kind of came to a point where like I need like I want to do this or I want to do that. Like
You gotta do it for yourself.
I can't like just please everybody. Like once I started like focusing on myself, like the things that I like, my stress level kind of went down. Like, you know, I was a little bit more happier. Like just a lot of things. Like I've never really like focused on myself. I've always been focused on like work and like girls or whatever, you know, just but like recently, like once I like kind of moved to Hawaii, like a little bit before Hawaii, I started like really working on myself. And this year, like I did a podcast before I went to Hawaii with Ronnie and Lucky. Went and worked in Hawaii and ran the biggest job that I've ever ran successfully, like awesome. Lived in Hawaii. Right now I'm working all military bases around the country doing the jet fuel stuff. I started my business with the clothing. That's gone really amazing. I've lost like 35 pounds because in Hawaii I was eating a bunch of like
Spam.
sushi, stuff like that. And like I was a kind of like a big boy, you know. I was kind of getting ready for hibernation in the winter, and then things kind of just went south. And I went to Hawaii. I was like, I need to get that aloha body, and started, you know, eating sushi and, you know, catching my own fish and stuff like that. Not really, but you know, it's just been going really good. Like since I've been like just kind of focused on myself and like, you know, believe in myself, like with everything, like things just kind of start falling into place. Like everything, it's crazy.
It's crazy.
But you got to put the work in. You have to
Change
put
that
the work
mindset.
in.
Yeah.
You have to put that work in, and it's gonna be a lot of times where you're just failing. I failed God knows how many times, you know, just, and then like out there on the road by yourself, like that's tough. Going through any kind of situation, you know, miles from, you can't even get like a hug from, you know, somebody you care about, like when you're just, you know, down. And I mean, you got to just learn from your mistakes. You're going to make mistakes, but you can't be like down on yourself. It's okay. You're going to be down on yourself, but like you just got to know that things are going to get better. But you also have to like, you can easily just stay down, you know. A lot of people get down and they get depressed or whatever, and they don't kind of ever like, they just stay in it, you know.
Yeah, self-pity's not going to get anywhere.
No, and like you gotta like, it's okay to like be sad or be down, but like you gotta be like, all right, I gotta get back up. It's time. I did my sadness or whatever, but like it's time to get back rolling and it's time to get going. And you know, you're gonna come up and then you're gonna kick back down, but like because you got kicked down a little while ago, you know how to get back up this time, and like you just keep getting better and better. And I don't think it ever runs out. I think you just get better at like adapting to situations, you know, within life, within welding, you know, there's a bunch of stuff, you know, on the job site. It's never really like perfect or any of that stuff, but you know, somebody that doesn't know what the hell they're doing, they're gonna be like, oh shit, like what the hell is this? Like, I'm not doing that, you know. And then, you know, there's a bad motherfucker out there that's been doing it for a while. Everything's going fucking crazy at the job site, you know, nothing's going well. they're like, everyone's like finally looking at the welder, like, can you like get this done? Like, we really need this. And like, give me that fucking TIG torch and turn me up 10, make sure I got wire and water. And when I get done, you're paying me for fucking 12. You know what I'm saying? Like, you as a welder, you just got to get shit done sometimes. And I don't know, taking like the stuff that I learned from welding and putting it into life, like real life, is cool. It's cool. Cause I don't know, like welding has just changed my life, and I've learned so much about life from welding. And like, I would have never thought I'd be right here, right now, literally, when I first started,
And you're only 6 years in. I mean, you started this journey right around 18, 19. You're 25 now.
Yeah.
And I mean, you're running work all across the world. I mean, Europe, Hawaii, stateside, working on government contracts, and everybody's like, oh, these millennials don't want to work. Well, I mean, you're painting with a broad brush there, because there's people out there that want to do it. And like I said, for the, only being in this game for 6 years, you've done a lot.
Yeah. I feel like an old man. Like I've seen it. I've seen it all. Like, I've done a little bit of it all. I've welded kind of everywhere. I've lived everywhere. It's been really crazy. Like, looking back, like, it's a journey. Like, whenever like you hear stuff like on podcasts or like TikTok or whatever, like you got a lizard right there.
Oh yeah, you got to watch out for those guys. They're indigenous to the area. I got to come up with a name for him. He's been running around here the past couple of days.
Is that yours?
No. Well, I mean, like, he's just here. He snuck in somehow. We got lizards everywhere here in Florida.
I was walking in, and one of them kind of committed suicide. He saw me, and he just like jumped off the freaking fence. Like, I don't know where he went. I don't even know, what were we just saying? Because I got like a fucking ADHD.
Yeah, usually it's a squirrel that I get distracted with. This time it was a lizard. For those that can't see, there's a lizard that's running around my studio. He's been here since like before Fab Tech. I've been trying to catch him and get him out of here. Yeah,
dude, he's trying to get a podcast.
I don't know what he's eating or what he's drinking, but yeah, he was here.
Dude, you got a lot of whiskey over here. Yeah, he's probably loving it over here.
If he got into the whiskey, it'd be a lot easier to catch him. That's what I ought to do. I'd pour him like a little shot or whatever, and then when he passes out, I'll scoop him up, take him outside. Just gonna come up with a name for him,
dude. So tell me about like what you've been doing, like, because for those of you guys like listening right now, I started like a little bit of a podcast at the beginning of the year, and Jason actually like was helping me out a lot when I was in Hawaii, like we talked about earlier, and he's been like a really big supporter of mine, and Ronnie Bowen as well from the beginning, like just been hardcore supporters, and like anything I need or questions or whatever, like these guys have been amazing. Like, how's everything been for you like this year?
All right, we're going to go ahead and take a quick commercial break. This segment of the Arc Junkies podcast is brought to you by Workbench Pros. Right now, Workbench Pros is running an end-of-the-year special on strong hand tool tables and fixturing kits. Now through the end of the year, you can get 5% off and get free shipping on Build Pro Alpha tables and 10% off Build Pro Max tables and fixturing kits, including my favorite table for the at-home fabricator and small business, the Rhino Cart. Do you have any idea how much shipping costs right now? It's nuts, so save some money while you can and treat yourself this year with a new table and some fixturing tools from BuildPro.com. We're also brought to you by Everlast Welders. After several years of research, customer input, and technological design work, Everlast has developed and released their new top-tier Typhoon class of TIG and stick welders. Designed to compete head-to-head with the next generation of elite AC and DC TIG and stick welding machines. The Typhoon 230 offers one of the best combinations of features and specifications for true next-level performance. It runs off 110 and 230 volt, it features AC and DC TIG welding, and it has 5 AC waveforms to choose from, including the all-new industry-first trapezoid. Check out all the great features at everlastwelders.com, and be sure to use Arc Junkies in the comment section at checkout to get that free Nova foot pedal and TIG torch upgrade when you buy any machine that comes with a stock foot pedal. Everlast Welders. Weld mean, weld green. Now let's get back to the show. It's been good, man. It's been busy. Like I was telling you before we got on the podcast, like my buddy and I, we opened up the Underground Metalworks here in Orlando.
Yeah.
Opened up the training center or the testing center and all that stuff. Still doing the podcast. Just got back from Fab Tech. I'm getting ready to do a bunch of travel. At the end of the month, I'm going up to Green Bay, Wisconsin for Viper Fest. Dabs Wellington. I don't know if you've met him yet.
No, I haven't met him.
He does all the stainless steel TIG art. We're going to go up there and do some demos and training workshops and stuff for the day. And then that night they're doing a big concert with Smoke Road in our last night.
Okay.
So I'm just flying up there literally for that day. Like I fly in Friday.
Cool.
We'll do the event Saturday, and then I fly back on Sunday. So like a little weekend jaunt.
That's sick.
And then I'm going up to Canada for CanWeld in Montauk, New Brunswick.
Are you serious?
Yeah, that's going to be dope. So Max Saran with the Canadian Welding Bureau invited me up for that. So they
No
do
way.
like a, it's kind of like a mini Fab Tech. So they have their big Fab Tech, I guess, on
What
even
do they
years.
call that?
It's just CanWeld.
CanWeld?
Yeah, but the big one's Fab Tech Canada, and then like they do
Okay.
they do the little ones called CanWeld.
Mhm.
So that's on the odd years.
Yep.
So this year, so it's like a smaller event, much more intimate. So it's gonna be pretty cool because they, I guess Max linked up. It's a very historical area of Canada.
Yeah.
So they have like a lot of the original like tribes and cultures and everything that are still there.
Yeah.
So they're gonna do some like traditional like demonstrations and stuff like that as part of like the community, you know, because they wanted to incorporate the community into CanWeld.
That's sick.
But there's also like
Is Drake going to be out there?
I don't think so.
Be out there running a rod?
Right? I guess they have it's French and English speaking, so I guess it's one of the few areas that they actually have two languages that everybody kind of recognizes.
Yeah.
And so they're going to be doing presentations in French and then presentations in English. So
Have
it'll
you
be
been
like different
practicing?
sessions. I have not. I want to start learning German because I want to go to
Ich bin
Essen.
Deutsch.
Yeah, I want to learn German because I want to go to Essen in 4 years.
Okay.
So Essen is like massive, and it makes Fab Tech kind of look like a hardware store.
No way.
It's supposed to be freaking huge. It's
Some
like
Europeans go all out.
oh yeah,
They're
but
awesome.
they like literally shut down the town to do this event.
Really?
So I'm gonna try learning German to go out there and do that. I tried before and like I gave up on it, but I really need to get back into practicing the lessons because you can learn a full freaking language on Spotify. So you can just like look in there, it's like learn Spanish in your car, and there's like lesiones
Podcast?
número uno. Yeah,
Número uno.
Yeah, número uno. That's
Cinco.
Exactly. So it tells you like it'll tell you like the English word, and then it'll tell you
How to
in
say it?
what other language, the language you're
And
looking
you just
for.
learn like a bunch of words.
Yeah, and it's just but I mean, then they start working on frases básicas,
Sentences,
like
yeah.
they'll do basic phrases and all that stuff. So but so I want to learn German to go over there. But yeah, I'm gonna try learning it in my car
it's like
again.
the
on
new
commute.
Rosetta Stone.
Exactly, and it's free, right? You can get it right there through Spotify. But
That's so sick.
so yeah, doing Canada. Probably not gonna learn French in time because that's it's I think in like 3 weeks I'm flying out there, 3 or 4 weeks. It's like mid-October, and then let's see. Then right after that, I've got an event with Kevin Johnson. He runs the Welding Business Owners podcast. He's doing the Fabricator Olympics up at his shop.
Oh, nice.
And then, like, right after that, I jump on a flight into Columbus for the automation conference in Ohio. And then I'll come back home for a couple days, and then I'll bounce out to Austin for the IEC conference. So, Inspection Expo and Conference, all for welding inspectors and coatings inspectors and all that stuff. And that'll pretty much wrap up the remainder of this year. And then, still podcasting in between, teaching classes in between.
Dude, and the end of the year is coming up fast.
Oh, dude, it's
I'm telling
so
you, like
fast.
right after this month, like Halloween, spooky season's coming. You
Yeah,
know,
fall is in the air.
Yeah, dude. Like,
But that's another thing. Like the old timers always tell you when you're younger. Like we were talking about things that they would tell us and it just didn't click or didn't make sense. But like you talk to some of the old timers, they're like, "Oh yeah, don't blink, man. Life just goes by super fast." And I swear. I mean, you're 25 now.
Yeah.
Once I'm 41. The older you get, the faster shit starts to fly by.
Because you stay more busier. I feel like.
I think that might be what it is. That might be what it is.
Your life is more busier. You got like kids or
got a lot of things going on.
More things involved in your life, probably. Yeah, because it's like with work. When you're not doing shit, like it's like, damn.
Yeah, because
I hope my phone doesn't die.
Yeah, when you're a kid, like you really have no concept of time because you're always out playing.
You're just
or
doing
going to
whatever
school.
you want.
You're just doing whatever you want.
Yeah.
But like now that you kind of look forward to the time that you have like to yourself, it happens very few and far in between, and that's you're busy the rest of the time. So maybe that's what it is. Like the busier you are, the faster it flies by.
For sure.
Because I'm busy as shit, man.
Because like if you're every day, you got to go to work, and then whenever you're done with work, you got like other businesses you're dealing with, and then it's dinner time. You still got to take a shower. Like the time just freaking like freaking flying by.
Get everything set up for tomorrow. Got to take a shower. Got to get ready for bed.
Yeah, and like I think that's like one thing that I try to like in my life like incorporate is like making sure I make time for like the traveling and the vacation, because like it's so easy to, you know, get sucked up into like working all these outages, working all this time, and like, you know, there is time to like bust ass and like really get after it and like make money and like just freaking work. But like you have to like, even like you gotta live life, man. Like it's not all about work, you know. It is, because like I know whenever I first got into it, I was just working, but like too many people just get sucked up in working too much, and like, man, go take like a little 3-day vacation, like go see a new town, like go eat some like freaking good food somewhere, like go like enjoy life, and then like come back and like get back into it, and like, you know, and then whenever your time again, like make sure you take that time off and like, you know, go do something, or go spend some time, or go live life, go do some stuff that you want. Like I was telling you, like that I would be working, and I would just spend my time coming home when like I could be like going on vacation or something like that. But I would come home and like just be running around, just seeing everybody, and like it wasn't even a vacation. And like finally, I was just like, all right, when I got time, I'm gonna go to Mexico. I'm gonna go to, you know, I'm gonna go visit like California, or go watch a game, or like, you know, whatever. But like, I don't know, like some people just want to work, but like I don't want my life to be like that. It's just all about work. I want to be able to like actually enjoy it. You
gotta have drive behind the work.
Yeah.
I mean, the work is
a little bit of balance.
It's a means to the end. And like, so now that my kids are a little bit older and they can appreciate going places, you know, we're going to start doing more traveling. So next year we're like booking a cruise, and we're going to take them on like a 4 or 5 day deal down to the Bahamas. But you know, I want to start doing that, because I mean, for the most part, we've stayed relatively local, but I mean, Florida's like the #1 tourist destination for a lot of people anyway. So there's so much stuff to do here. I mean, whether it's the amusement parks, the state parks, you know, the different events and things like that, there's so much to do. But you know, like, you're rather well cultured because you've traveled to Europe. You've got a different perspective. Like you were saying, you've got this ability to communicate from, you know, to people from all walks of life. And that's probably because you've done the traveling. You've seen how other people live. You've seen different cultures. You've been to places where you can't get what you need. You can't get what you want. You've been to places where everything's right there at the touch of a button, or the click in an app. You know, so you've seen both sides of that coin. And a lot of people, they just don't have those life experiences. And that's when they end up, you know, they're stuck in their own ways. They don't see somebody else's perspective. They're not open to that, because they've never seen the other side of that coin. They've never seen how other people live. But once you start doing that, you gain a different perspective on life. You get a different perspective on people. And that's kind of what I want to share with my kids by doing more traveling, going out and seeing these other things, you know, different parts of the country, you know, different islands, or, you know, different continents.
And that's something that nobody will ever be able to take away from you.
Exactly.
Like, those are like experiences that you will always have, you know, like, you know, welders make a lot of money, and like, you know, the trucks and like the toys and this and that, you know, but like, it's put some money into an experience rather than like
tangible
an item or whatever. And I'd rather pay for an experience any day over like buying something, because years later you're gonna be talking about them stories of like how we like got lost, or like just whatever happened, and like it's just beautiful stories that you'll be able to just pass on. And like, dude, I have so many like stories to tell, like all of my travels, and like it's amazing. And like yeah, we're young now, but like I also like try to think about like the future and stuff. Like, damn, like if I ever have kids one day, or like a family or something like that, like I'll be able to tell like all these stories, like as a grandpa or something like that. Like, or I remember when I was like 19 years old, you're over here complaining about freaking working at a restaurant. When I was 19, I was, you know, building an embassy in Europe, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'll be that grandpa, like telling all the stories or whatever.
Building that legacy, man.
Yeah, for sure.
So what's next?
So, man, I've been working on Pearl Snap Pimps, man. I'm changing the game with this. I'm trying to just bring something new and different, bring some new flavor, some spice to the welding game. There's a lot of people out there doing the work clothes, and like, man, they're freaking killing it. Like, it looks awesome. But what I'm trying to do with Pearl Snap Pimps is kind of just represent all the badass welders out there who have traveled, who have sacrificed, who have like gone all in, or like inspire the kids coming up, or anybody else like wanting to be a welder, or even like wanting to do anything. Like I hope my brand Pro Snap Pimps kind of represents like all that hard work, that pride that welders have, and like looking good, their welds, their presentation. You know, welders have like this big name, you know, the kings of trade, you know, in the field that we do get treated the best. We do get paid the best. We're the top dogs of this, you know, and like I tell Ronnie Bone all the time, like we're the next generation, like literally, like we're next up. We're like all these old timers and everything.
Making a mass exodus.
They're getting older, you know, and like they're always going to be old timers. But like right now, like Ronnie, like I'm 25, he's like 27 or 28. Like we're on social media, like with a bunch of people, you know, like you, like everybody like on social media, like everyone right now that's like kind of big or getting there or going or whatever. Like we are literally the next ones up, the next generation, the next, we're going to be the old timers or whatever. But like with our platforms and everything, like it's just going to be crazy.
It's your time to shine.
Yeah. It's going to be our turn and stuff like that. And, so with the Pro Snap Pimps, obviously, you guys have been seeing like the shirts and stuff. If you haven't, prosnappimps.com. But I'm trying to, you know, everyone's got the work stuff, and I'm just trying to bring something to the people that, you know, you can kind of wear outside of work, at the house, at the gym, at the bar, you know, to the games or whatever, and kind of like be able to wear something with some style, some fashion, or something that looks good that you can wear and it represents what you do. Because welders are so prideful of everything that they do with welding. You know, if somebody asks you, "Are you a welder?" Like, you damn right, you know, I'm a welder. And like whenever you wear this clothing, you're able to like bring it with you into your life, however you dress, whether it's like Western or like street fashion or like casual or like gym fits or whatever. But like be able to represent with something cool and like nice quality, nice designs is not just like a guy welding, you know, like you see like a bunch of logos and stuff like that. It's like that same guy like TIG welding with whatever. Like I'm just trying to really just bring something new and special that, you know, nobody has seen before. And, you know, with how I'm trying to market it and everything, like I'm just, everything that I'm trying to do is different and unique to where people are going to be like, when you guys look at my stuff, it's like, dang, like that's pretty freaking cool. Like I like the way he did that. I like the way the clothes look, or I like the way he, you know, made a TikTok or a reel about it, like kind of showing off the stuff, or, you know, just trying to bring something different. Cause I feel like a lot of things are very like computerized or like not organic and stuff like that. And, you know, people love recognize real, you know, and, you know, I'm a real welder. I'm out here really doing it. I've been everywhere, done a lot of things. I'm not the best. I'm not, you know, nothing, but like I have a pretty cool journey, you know, and, you know, people respect the like organicness, or like the, like it's, where people can, like, you can look at something and be like, oh, that's like some fake shit, or like that's not like, they ain't like a real welder, or like they're not really about it or whatever. But like I think people, when they do recognize something real like that, like they like it a lot more, you know.
Yeah, you're not putting on a front. I mean, you're out there actually doing the work.
Yeah, for sure. And like it's been amazing. Like I got these shirts coming out. I just filmed a commercial with Ronnie this weekend. Yesterday, we're up to like midnight yesterday recording, but I got some really amazing long sleeves coming out. They're going to be super freaking sick. I've had a lot of people asking for the long sleeves and a couple other things. And like, I've been, you know, traveling, working on the road, and then running this kind of business on the back end. It's not a side business, because it's like freaking going so crazy. Like people freaking love what I'm doing, the designs, the logos, everything. Like my messages are like going crazy all the time. Like, man, I love it. Like the packaging, like everything is just so unique and special and like detailed, and like it's the little things, like just like with welding, the little things like matter, and like you take
Attention
the
to
time,
detail.
yeah, you take the time to like really hit all these things, and like when people see it, it's like an amazing feeling for them to be like, wow, like this is pretty cool, you know, like even just like that, or like it's just crazy to see people wearing, you know, liking my stuff enough to like buy it and like wear it, and they like actually wear it. Like they're not just buying it because like, oh, it's Johnny or whatever. Like they actually like what I'm doing. Like they're fucking with it, you know? And
Yeah.
that's a really cool feeling to like, you know, I spent like a year like while in Hawaii, before Hawaii, like working on clothes, getting like stuff sent over, like just so much behind the scenes, like getting this, like trying to come out with something that is nice and appealing to everybody and like good quality, and like it takes a lot. Like there's a lot of things, a lot of trial and error and stuff like that, but like it's it's so cool, you know, seeing your ideas kind of come together and like actually happening and stuff like that. Like it's cool, and like the amount of work I'm putting into this has been so easy, because like with welding, I fell in love with the welding, but like I saw the vision with the welding. I was putting all this work in, and like I didn't care if I wasn't getting any sleep. Like I was like hustling, but like I knew like I was gonna get the result that I want. And like I feel like I'm doing this now. Like it feels like very like crazy sometimes with like working a job, traveling, running like the business, and then life, and like, you know, everything else, you know, like nothing really runs smooth all the time. But like everything you learn from welding, like having to like adapt, like you got to like figure some stuff out, and like everything is just happening so effortlessly. Like I'm putting all this amount of work and time and everything, and like I don't care how much time it takes. I don't care how much work I got to do. I don't care if like, you know, I'm going through some stuff with the business. Like if we're having like, you know, we like sell out like multiple times a week sometimes, you know, and like it's like I'm getting more orders, and like I'm over here like freaking building a pipe job at a military base over here in like Texas, and I'm over here like calling my like clothing manufacturer, like I need more. I need more. Give me more, you know, and then like trying to like fulfill the orders and all that, but like it feels like almost like the world's like on fire, like everything's just like going crazy, and like I'm just kind of just casually walking through here, because like everything from the past that I've been through, all the failures, all the success, all the like ups and downs, has like got me to where I'm at right now. Like I'm fine, because like I was made for this, you know. I was made for this moment. I asked for this. All the work that I've kind of like put into everything, like this is everything that I've been wanting, and like it's my time to like shine, and I'm handling it. I'm taking care of business, you know. We're growing. We got a lot of big things coming. Like we just started in August, but like, gosh, I think in August, that first month that we did, we sold out like two times every week, or 2-3 times every week. And like just this next month, September, you know, we're still rolling, but I'm getting ready for this next drop in October for the long sleeves. And then I'm working on these freaking badass hoodies in November. And then I've got some other stuff I'm working on, some very, very big stuff that I'm working on that's going to be coming out very soon too, maybe like in November. And then hopefully by December, I got this other thing that I got working on. Like these people, I don't think y'all are ready for what I got coming. Like we're here to change the game, and buckle up, get some popcorn, hit the follow. If you don't like me, you might start, because this stuff is going to be sick and everyone's going to be liking it. I'm just super excited to show people what I can do and what I'm going to do. Like people I know are like looking, they're like, dang, like Johnny's got this, and what's he doing next? Or like, you guys have no idea like the creativity I got for the stuff coming out, and it's just the beginning. Like we're just starting off, and like I'm a little dog right now, but I'm looking up to like all these big companies and stuff. Like I'm gonna be up there with you guys, you know, just one guy right now, but like watch me, watch what I can do, watch what I you see Dana White, he said this on this TikTok where it's like, if you really want something, like go after it, and like you have to like put in that work or whatever. But like right now, like the work ethic from like people and like everybody just wants everything so easily, or like they want it now, or they're into it and then they like kind of fall out of it and stuff like that. But like if you really have that work ethic, and like that work ethic I get from like, my Mexican roots, the work ethic, and then plus like everything I learned with the weld and the work ethic there, and the drive and the passion, and I love this, so like it's just everything from the work and like life and all that, I'm putting that into this, and it's just all the tools that I've been learning, I'm putting it into this, and it's like it's igniting a fire, like I got fire in my bones like talking about this, because like it's just gonna take time, to like get all this rolling. But like big things are like coming, and like I'm 25, like hopefully by 30 I'll try to like, retire or whatever. But like that's the mindset you gotta have. Like if you really wanna like do big stuff, you gotta like dream freaking big. Like you have to. And like one crazy thing that I've kind of learned that's so crazy, you gotta believe it before it happens, or you gotta see it before it happens. Like the people that know me, like I have this big white dually, and when I got into welding, I was like looking up to like Wally's Welding and like all these like big dogs out there. Shout out to Wally's, awesome dude. Mm-hmm. And I was like, if I get into welding, like I want to have that big dually like all these welders do, and I worked in Europe. Came back home with like freaking 60 grand in my pocket from working over there. I didn't like, put all the money into it. Obviously that would have been kind of dumb, but I went and bought my dream truck, put a nice down payment on my dream truck, got my dually. I said when I got into this, I was going to travel the world. I traveled the world, I did it. Like it was a craziness, but I did it, and I bought a camper, and like, I was like, man, my dream campers have like this Keystone, Montana, like the big fifth wheel, like top of the line, big dogs. Like you see all these pipeliners with their rig trucks. They got a freaking $100,000 camper on the back of it, like just freaking rolling in dough. You know what I'm saying? And I worked my ass off, and I freaking got that. And like just like so, not even like just that. Like there's just so many other things. Like even with like the clothing and everything. Like you gotta like believe and really see like what you're trying to do before it happens, and you gotta like keep on saying it doesn't matter. Like I feel like some people think I'm crazy. I'm like, I'm gonna do this or I'm gonna do that, and then like a little time goes by, and then like shit, like I'm doing it, but like I don't gotta say it to them, like because they know, I'm about it. When I say I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do something, because I think like nowadays is like with the work ethic and all that, but like a lot of like I guess not qualities people like you can't even shake somebody's hand nowadays anymore, and like it's like true or like
yeah. I was talking to a dude at FabTech, like he walked up and he's like, we had a conversation and everything, and then he kind of he wasn't sure whether to like fist bump or handshake, and I was like, nah dude, I'm all about the handshake. And he's like, okay, I wasn't sure if like people were still doing that, like if it's going away, and I was like, nah man, we need to bring the handshake back, because that was a thing. Like when I was growing up, that's the measure of a man.
The handshake.
The handshake. Like that. That's your bond. That's your word. A handshake. You can tell a lot by somebody with a handshake. You can't do that with these little limp ass freaking elbow bumps and fist bumps. I mean, like I get it. Fist bumps are cool, but like if you're having a discussion, a conversation, you meet somebody, it's not a fist bump. That's a handshake. Yeah. Right. And like you can tell a lot about somebody. Through a handshake.
But like a lot of that stuff is like not even like. No one like what is it? What do you call it? When like no one stands behind like if you say you're gonna do something, like a man of your word is a man of their word, and like that
your word is your bond.
That shit is not like people just use that shit like it's not like the people's word isn't what it is anymore, and like with the handshake, like stuff like just like different like qualities and like things that like were used, or I guess older people like care about, and like it's not really there anymore. So like these younger guys like me and like Ronnie and like all these people coming up, like it's up to us to like to make sure that we're, I guess, standing behind like who we are and stuff like that, like with work and like life, you know, as like, you know, becoming a man, you know, because a lot of the like welders and stuff, like coming up, like there were kids, and like you're literally learning how to become a man on the road. Like that's some hard ass shit. Like you come out of once you get like done with the welding or whatever, like I know I was a different person before I got into welding, and like I've become a whole different. I've learned a lot about like becoming a man and like being responsible, and like, you know, I think another really main thing that has stuck with me is like being true to yourself, no matter, because you're gonna go through some shit. You're gonna be up, you're gonna be down, and all that stuff. And there's gonna be people that do you so dirty that you wouldn't expect to. And then, you know, like there's so many things, and like there's so many times where like you want to do them bad, or you want to like get to their level, or do them how they did you, level, or you know what I'm talking about. But like, it takes a real man to really, you know, be true to like who you are, and like stand like, you know what, like even though they did me wrong, I'm still gonna, you know, not be respectful, but, or you know what I'm saying?
Just brush that shit off.
Yeah, I'm not gonna like.
You're not gonna be petty and sink down to their level.
I'm not gonna like, oh, like this guy did me this, you know, like.
Can't focus on that shit.
You gotta like, there's times where you just gotta swallow it, and like that's it. Like you gotta move forward or whatever. But like you can't like don't ever go down to people's level, because you're just gonna be like one of them, you know?
Yeah. It's changing your surroundings, changing the people that you hang out with and associate yourself with. And if you let somebody that did you wrong, it's essentially giving them rent-free space in your head.
Yeah.
Like I don't have time for that shit. If somebody does me wrong, which it's happened in the past.
Oh, I don't
like
doubt
you think you can count on somebody, you think you can rely on somebody, and they let you down.
Oh man.
You know what? Oh well, that's a part of life.
And move on. It takes so much freaking like strength, or it takes a lot to not like react or not just go down to their level. Like as bad as you want to like blast them, or not like shoot them, but like shit on them, or like whatever, like you're just going down to their level. And if you're a better man than they are, like you don't go down to their level.
More, you know
better
thing.
And you know sometimes like you just gotta step away, or like, you know, whatever, like damn, that happened, like I gotta just move on, or you know, whatever. And then like I guess like good karma that comes back, it'll come back to you, because you know, like I said, I've been through a lot of really like just crazy stuff of life, you know, and like it's been bad, but then there's been like really like amazing stuff that like happens, you know, and stuff like that. So it's just like they say, it's a roller coaster.
Oh, it definitely is.
It's like a roller coaster. There's the ups and downs, but
sometimes those failures make the successes taste a little bit sweeter.
Definitely.
You gotta struggle. You gotta put in the work to, you know, be able to enjoy the success.
Right.
All the good things that are coming back.
And if you're really wanting to be successful, or really do something different, or like change your life, like it's not just going to be like a straight ride to the top.
It's ups and downs.
It's going to be a lot of shit. Cause like the world, they say that like the world will give you what you want, but like you got to like prove to the world, or like to God, or whoever, like that you are ready for it, you know? Like all this stuff with the clothing and all that stuff, like anybody can just go out there, you know, make some shirts or whatever and like sell them or whatever, but like to really put in all the work, the legal work, all the stuff to make it right, to professional, you know, doing all that stuff, it takes time, but like, sheesh.
It takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of effort. And like you were saying earlier, like if you don't have, if you're not in it for the long haul, it's not going to work.
Yeah.
You know, you can't be all about the instant gratification.
And
it's
just
going to take
try
time.
to get right there. Yeah.
There's a lot like late nights. I mean, like you're doing this on your own. I mean, you're working throughout the day. You're still traveling. You know, you're running your business. Plus, you know, you're doing all the t-shirts. You're still doing like Pearl Snaps the episodes every once in a while. So I mean, you got all this stuff going on.
Running my social media, running the other social media.
Exactly. So I mean, it's a lot, and it's not like you said, it's not like you can just, you know, print up a couple things on some t-shirts and sell it. You know, like there's a lot more that goes into that.
You can.
It's not going to go anywhere,
but it's not going to go anywhere. Like if you don't like if you really want something to, you gotta organize, you gotta like manage it and like, or not manage it, but like create a plan and like really like look at it, because like it's not even just selling the shirt. There's like a lot of numbers. There's a lot of like so many like legal stuff too.
Yeah.
Like
You gotta
especially
trademark
with taxes
stuff.
and like
Yeah.
holy
Sales
shit,
tax,
like,
that's a pain in the
you
ass.
don't want to like with the welders are like notorious, you know, for like the taxes stuff. They're the married to nine and like all these things, not paying taxes or
Mhm.
you know whatever. And like you like Uncle Sam don't care. Like he's gonna get his money.
Yeah.
He's gonna get his money. But like I know a lot of people, you know, that lie or like not lie, but like whatever, the married to nine, all that stuff on the taxes, like what welders do and stuff like that. And there's some people that I've met that like haven't paid or something like that, and like holy, like the government like will get you. They might not get them right now, but like when they do,
But that shit's gonna add up, man.
it's gonna add up.
It's gonna add up quick.
It's gonna add up. But like,
And they're gonna come knocking, and they want it, even though you stole it a little bit at a time, because that's essentially what you're doing is tax fraud.
yeah,
They're gonna want paid in full. So you know, if you've been dodging them 5-6 years, they're gonna want all that money
yeah,
when they come to collect it.
yeah. It's there's a lot to learn, but you can learn from the guys who are doing it successfully, and then there's guys who have been doing it for a long time and they're still like they haven't grown or done nothing, like they're still doing things wrong, and like you got to get away from them guys. Like learn from, there's a lot of really smart guys out there, very smart guys out there who have been doing it for years, been doing it right.
Mm-hmm.
You got to get with those guys and learn from them, because it's easy. There's a lot of people out there, like in the plants and all that. They talk this game and da. But like, all right, once you put that weld on, all right, we'll see what you're all about or whatever. Like, all right, you can talk about it, but are you about it? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So who do you think's been like your biggest influence along your journey so far?
Man, definitely Wally's Welding World, man. I know I looked up to him, like getting into, I still look up to him now, and we talk, and you know, he was like my idol, like getting into it, because at the time, like when I kind of first got into the welding, like the social media really like wasn't I don't know, like maybe I just wasn't in it, but like I didn't really see like nothing crazy. I think it was like Wally and like Stacking Iron, and like there's a couple like really big dogs in it, and like Wally was like somebody like he was like passionate, he was like always so positive and all that, and kind of looked up to him for like a while, but like I never thought I'd be friends with him or whatever. And one time I met him at a welding competition, and like I made a connection with him. You know, I was real young, but like to make a connection with him was really cool, and we ended up just becoming like friends and just talking all the time. And you know, he shares a lot of experiences with me and like tells me about things, and like it's cool like how like with social media, like I ended up, the person I look up to, like I talk to on a daily basis or like a weekly or how, like he's super busy, I'm super busy, but like whenever we talk, like it's so cool. And like now like he sees like all the things I'm doing, like pearl snaps, and like he remember like when I met him, like I was just like welding, and like he's seen me like grow, and like it's like incredible. And like I have relationships like that with him and like other people, and like there's just so many like people out there that there's so many people out there who you would have thought would have been there for you or like whatever, and then there's people that like strangers, like random people who are like your biggest supporters, you know, and like that's a crazy feeling, you know.
Yeah.
And like with social media, to be able to have them relationships, like all these people like ask me like, hey, how do you get these jobs, how do you do this, how do you do that, and like you gotta like message people, like talk to, like you never know, like if that's how I got in talking with Ronnie. Like I messaged him about Charlie Crockett, like some country singer, a song, and we kind of started talking, and then he sent me some stickers, and you know, like we ended up creating a relationship, you know, a friendship, and like it just goes like that. And then like, you know, like the people who is around you like help you out with the things that you're trying to do and stuff like that. The networking is everything, especially with the welding. Like people don't understand how like welding is so hard to get jobs. It's not like it's not like a white collar job where you just apply or whatever. Like you
Yeah, you submit
you
your
gotta know
resume.
somebody. You gotta have that reputation. You gotta like be able to back it up, because like this is the real world, like big boy stuff. Like you ain't out there if you ain't it. Like they're not gonna like, oh well, we hired him, so like they're gonna like take you out, or you're gonna
take yourself out.
You're gonna take yourself out. You know what I'm saying? So man, Wally's been a really great friend, really positive, always giving me good feedback. But like I said, there's a lot of like amazing people out there who have like just taught me a lot, and like even just having that person to talk to sometimes whenever like you have a question or like an experience, you know, it's cool to have different feedback from different people. But like even then, like you gotta like I incorporated that like with getting slick at Welding, you know. You gotta like talk to all the people who are freaking slick. Like if you're trying to like be a slick welder, like message the guy who you look up to, like what are your settings, like how do you run this, you know? And then you talk to another guy who welds really slick. How do you like run your settings? How do you weld it? Like, you know, and like each person has like a little different like, you know, pep to their step that makes their weld unique, or their weld the way it is, you know. And like you have to, that's how you get good, you know. You can learn a lot of it on yourself, but like there's people that are doing it who do it very, very well and have been doing it for a long time. And like they're like people just like me and you, like just because they're big on social media or whatever. Like, so, yeah, I understand like a lot of people like can't message or whatever because their messages are probably flooded, but like there's a lot of people who really like are down to help you with whatever, you know. And like you just got to put yourself out there, and like you never know. You never know what's going to happen. Like they might answer, they might not, but like you're not going to know if you don't try.
Yeah.
You know?
That's the cool thing about this community is everybody's willing to help each other out.
Yeah.
Those are the people you want to surround yourself with. Like you said, just reach out. I mean, that's how we linked up. I think you messaged me on Instagram about, you know, when you were setting up the Pearl Snap Pimps podcast, and you were like, "Hey, dude, like I got some, like I don't want to be competition." And I was like, "Dude, that's not competition. Like, there's room at the table for everybody. I mean, the more resources, the merrier." But like, I was more than willing to help you out and like recommend gear and all that stuff because like, you know, you were obviously wanted to get into it. And I was like, well, I mean, if you're gonna do it, fucking do it right. You know?
Yeah.
Like here's all the pitfalls that, you know, I learned. Here's all the mistakes that I made. Don't make these same mistakes.
Yeah.
You know, use this gear, you know, use this software, look into this, look into that.
And you got to be careful too, because there are people that, you know, act like they want to help you, but they really don't want, they don't want it to see you do better than them too. So like, you know, like I said, I talk to a lot of people. Like I talk to people on the freaking elevator. Like it don't matter. You know, the guy picking up the garbage. Like I don't care who it is. I ask them how their day is. You know, it might like make their day better. You know, if I ask them like, "How's your day?" Or like, you know, "I like your shoes." You know, like something like it might. I don't know. It just might make their day. But like, you got to work on that network and that talking and stuff like that with
that's the thing. You get all these kids nowadays, and I don't want to throw a wide net, but like they don't want to look up from their cell phone. You know, they can't they DoorDash because they're afraid to make a phone call. Like you have to be able to communicate. You can't communicate with your thumbs. You've got to get out there. You've got to talk to people. You got to meet people. You got to shake hands. You know, you've got to meet people
and
in
everybody's
person.
Different. So like, just because like you're good at talking to your boss doesn't mean you're going to be good at talking to somebody else, because everybody talks different. Everybody like, some might be like really like high energy. Some might be like, some people are like shy, and you got to like know how to like, you know, talk to like, I think it's more fun for me now kind of to like figure out like, all right, how does this guy like, what's like his mojo? Like, how am I going to like,
communicate with this
guy, you know? But like it's fun because like, you know, you got to be yourself too. Like you can't be like, oh, like you don't have to like really like, I feel like I don't really like change who I am. Like I talk to everybody kind of the same, and like, yeah, I cuss sometimes, and like, you know, I'm funny. Like I'll throw a joke, even if it sounds stupid, or even if it comes out stupid, you know, I don't care. Like, you gotta like not care what people think or what they're gonna say. There's gonna be people that are gonna have something to say for freaking everything, you know. But like, if you think it's funny or if you think it's cool or whatever, like just do it. That's another really big thing. Like I think people like are kind of scared to like talk to people because they're like, oh, what if I say the wrong thing, or like
I don't want to sound stupid.
I don't want to sound stupid. But like even like with talking like with big people in the game, like just being like yourself, and like everyone tries to be like professional because like this guy is like big in the game or something like that. But here like somebody comes like like talking and like saying a joke or like just being yourself, people remember that like this guy was like, he wasn't like everybody else, like trying to be like all like kissing my ass or whatever. He was like kind of himself, or like
you always want to be genuine.
You got to be like genuine,
be the real version of yourself.
Yeah, for sure. That it's just fun. I love talking to people, man. I love it. I love everything that like Welding has come out with, like that I've learned from Welding, and now I'm able to take all that, like I said, and put it into my business, and it's just so easy. And the money is gonna come. It's a lot of money that I've you gotta invest a lot of money to do something, but if you believe in it, you're passionate about it, everything's gonna fall into place and like come with time, and like if you love it and you believe in it, like somebody, like you're not gonna please everybody, but if you're at least doing what you like and you're genuine about it and like you really do like it, that's all that freaking matters. Fuck what everybody else thinks. Like I'm sure there's people that don't like my stuff, and like I'll still shake your hand, and I'm not gonna like, oh, but like there's just, you're not gonna please everybody, and you gotta know that. But you just gotta be able to make sure you please yourself, like be happy with yourself at the end of the day. Because I think a lot of times I used to be really, really hard on myself, and like learning to kind of like move like water, I guess.
Bruce Lee?
Yeah. Move like water. Move like water.
Yeah. So where are you off to next?
I think that's the number one question that I get from everyone. Where are you gonna go next? And usually it's like, I don't know. I need to go look at my iPad. It's got my job all there.
Once Atlanta's done.
Yeah. So pretty much after here I'll go home for the weekend, and I got an iPad. I'll look at it and it's got a job on there, and pretty much Monday I'll go drive to some military base and do a job and come back home. So
are you working for like the same contractor over and over, or are you like an independent contractor?
Same company now.
And they just fly you wherever they need you to go?
They fly me or I drive. Usually like I got to drive to Alabama to their shop and like pick up a company truck, and then from there, they got the stuff for the job, and we go knock out a job for a week. Kind of crazy. Very different. It's usually like 2 or 3 guys go to a military base, and we'll go knock out like a job. Dude, I've gone to jobs. I literally before this weekend, I drove all the way to Texas, 12 hours to a military base out in the middle of nowhere because one of their diesel pumps was leaking. And we went over there, literally put some pipe wrenches to it, switched out like the valve and the gasket because the gasket was bad. And that was it. We were done in like not even an hour.
Damn.
But like
12-hour drive one way.
Yeah, and like that was my week, and like that was good because I got home like Wednesday. I was able to take care of some stuff before the trip and stuff like that, and that's kind of how that rolls. We're about to start a really big job, hopefully coming by the end of this month or the beginning of next month. We're gonna do a big pipeline job for Delta Airlines at the airport in Hartsfield-Jackson.
Okay.
So the Atlanta airport is like not the biggest, but it's definitely the busiest airport, and
that place is freaking massive. I don't know how big it is compared to Orlando. I think Orlando might be bigger, but dude, you can get lost in Atlanta real quick. You got to jump on all the little subways and stuff.
It's crazy.
It's crazy.
Trains I feel bad for people that like come visit because like that airport is really crazy, and like I live here, so like I know how it goes, but like geez, it's a little wild. But that's gonna be a really cool job. Probably like a month or two ago, I worked like for 2 weeks night shift, and I was literally out on the runway at like we had worked night shift, and like all the planes are down chilling. We're out like in the middle of the runway, checking the pipeline. I'm over there like where all the planes parked, where you like walk into the what's it called, the
Terminal?
the terminal
Mhm.
onto the plane or whatever. Underneath there's like a bunch of each plane has like their own like fuel system. So like I was going underneath all the planes, like taking pictures of the pipeline and inspecting it so they can get the bids wrote up and stuff like that. And that's what they've kind of been doing now, but it's going to be a really crazy job if we get it and start working on that, like to be welding and doing all the pipeline work for Delta Airlines at the airport where I live. And like I've been traveling for so long, since I was like 17, it's really going to be the first time like working at home in like a really, really, really long time. So that'll be really nice to.
That's Atlanta too?
Yeah.
Okay. So you live in Atlanta now?
Not Atlanta. It's like an hour from Atlanta. I just say Atlanta 'cause
Okay.
nobody knows kind of like where I'm from, but Cherokee County.
Okay.
Cherokee County, putting you guys on the map. What's up? What's up? But yeah, man, that's gonna be really exciting. And then like right now, like I was telling you, like September's about to be over. Like to be able to be home for like the holidays this year is gonna be like so big for me, because like usually I'm out working. Like last year, I left. Thankfully, I was able to be here for Thanksgiving, but like right after Thanksgiving, I was gone and I was in Hawaii for Christmas and New Year's, and like I can't tell you like how many holidays and all these things I miss. So like after being gone for such a long time, like it'll be cool. Like it's been so cool recently since Hawaii, being home on the weekends and stuff like that. Because usually I'm working 7/12s or like outages somewhere far away from home. You don't come home as often. So I've been home a lot more often recently, and it's just feels amazing. Like, you know, I live out of a suitcase pretty much. Like my truck's got clothes, and like everybody that knows me, like I'm honestly like in and out all the time. Gone for the week, home for the weekend, gone again. Like always in and out, in and out like a drive-through. I always say.
That's what a lot of people don't understand. Like they want to get into this industry, they want to make all the money, but they don't want to do the work to be able to do it. Like you were saying, you're sacrificing nights, weekends, holidays, spending time away from your family. It comes at a cost.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and if that's the type of work you want to get into, I mean, more power to you, but not everybody can do that. But then they want to complain, oh, there's no money to be made in welding. There's a lot of money to be made welding. You just got to sacrifice. You're not going to find...
make it MIG welding at the local shop.
No, you're not going to find it 10 minutes away from the house. It's not going to be convenient. It's not going to be, like 40 hours a week. You're not going to have banker's hours.
Instagram.
Exactly.
It takes time.
That's the thing too, is like nobody wants to share their failures on Instagram. They don't want to show you where they screwed up. Everything they gets put out
glory.
there. Yeah, it's all the nice stuff, the polished stuff.
I do the same thing too, because like fuck, if I was putting all my struggles, like people would be like, damn, is he okay? Somebody needs to check on him,
right.
But like that is true. Like the failures and all that stuff, like it's what makes you. And like if you meet somebody, a welder, that said they never failed a freaking weld test or an X-ray, like
they're lying, or they're not
shit,
taking any tests,
or they ain't that good. Then if they haven't been tested to that level, because this shit is not easy, and there's a lot of variables and factors that can kick you off a job that you just drove like 17 hours to, and
have you ever done that? You put in, like, went out to a job expecting to get hired on and bust out the weld test?
I failed 2 weld tests for sure, like my fault. Like when I got back from Europe, I had just learned how to weld pipe and weld in school, and then I went to Europe and worked for a year. It was all structural, building bulletproof safe havens, which is structural steel and stuff like that. And I came back, took off like 3 months, stayed with the family, hung out. And when it was time to go to work, there was a big job rolling out in Georgia. What's that nuclear plant? It's a big nuclear job. What's it called? Plant Vogel.
Okay.
Did you ever hear that?
Yeah.
Big plant job going on, or nuke job going on, and I had just gone back from Europe, and like I was like, all right, I'm gonna need to get working like here, like in March or something like that. So I started like practicing for welding, pipe again, like, you know, practicing, doing what I had to do to get ready. And, you know, I hadn't welded a pipe, you know, in the field at all, really, but like I knew how to do it. Like obviously, just like I did with the stick welding or whatever. Like I was gonna, you figure it out, you know, as you go. You got to start somewhere, you know. And I show up to the weld test, and you know, I got all my stuff ready to go. It's a combo monster, and he's like, "No, this is a no grinder test." I was like, "Oh." I put in my root, and like I had a little spot in my root where I could have just like easily like, grinded it out, and I couldn't. And he freaking got me right there. And then there's one time I was driving from Texas. Lucky Welds actually hooked it up with a job working for SpaceX, and I drove like 17 hours, man. It was a long drive, and I hadn't welded like flux core like since welding school, and this was like 3 years later after welding school or whatever. And I was kind of in a bind, and Lucky, you know, hooked me up with he got me in for a job with SpaceX, and I drove all the way down there, man. And, you know, I couldn't get my settings right for the flux core, and man, I freaking failed that. And like, that was like, that's like a huge kick to the nuts, because like I'm driving a humongous dually carrying like a 45 foot camper 17 hours away to Florida. You know, that's probably like $800 worth of fuel right there. Plus you got to get over there, pay for your place you're going to stay at, and food for like a couple of days, like the week that you're going to take the test, and like wait for the results of the weld test. So like you're over here waiting, and like just to like fail a test, like that shit sucks. But you learn real quick, like you don't want to go through that feeling again, and like you get ready, you work even harder for the next test, or like, because that feeling of failing that weld test after everything that you put in, the sacrifice of time, the travel, all that stuff, and you fail, like that is a tough, you feel stupid,
rough road to hoe.
You feel stupid, but like it's part of it, you know. It happens, and like, man, I was down bad, you know. But you know, another opportunity popped up, and that's why the connections things is good, because I failed that test, and I made just a couple phone calls and had another weld test, you know, lined up right then and there. So, you know, went up to the next test, and, you know, got that taken care of, and I was working again. And, you know, that's another story.
Well, yeah, man. Well, if you ever need a spot to practice, swing by the school.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of one of the other things that we do over there is like, if you got to prepare for a weld test or get short up, then, you know, I've got booth space in the back. Just pop on in.
Dude,
if you got to do a test,
that would be so sick.
I've got all the different processes: stick, MIG, TIG, flux core. We'll hook it up.
Yeah, dude, I would freaking love that. That sounds so awesome, man. I really appreciate you having me out here, man. It's been like,
a long time coming.
It's been a long time coming, but like, it's like crazy to like, we're actually like here now, you know, and like doing this. Like, I would have never thought this was gonna happen like years ago. And you know, that's what happens like when you work hard, and like you got to go all in for the things that you want, and like chase your dreams. Like anything is really possible, man. Like it might suck for you now, but it doesn't mean it's not gonna get better for you like tomorrow. You know, there's always storms that come in, but the sun shines after. You know.
Yeah.
So you gotta be patient, and you know, even if you're not seeing results right now, just keep going, keep working. And whenever it's your time to shine, like you better be ready and take advantage of it. You know, like Eminem says, what's he say?
You only get one shot. Do not miss the shot.
What does Eminem say? But yeah, man, yeah, for sure. And you know, I think spreading positivity is really cool, and you know, showing love, and you know, all that stuff. And that's what I'm trying to be about. You know, and like I know what the struggle is like coming up and starting off, and like that's why I'm always so down to like help people and like tell them things that like people probably don't tell them. Like, you know, there's a lot of things that like isn't talked about really on social media, as far as like videos, advice, and stuff like that. But I don't know, just trying to do something different, but show positivity, show everybody that doesn't matter where you come from, what color you are, what your family's like, or how much money you got. Like, you can do anything, and anything is possible. Keep God with you, and work hard, and network, and everything's going to work out.
Yeah. Well, hell, man, before you get out of here, why don't you tell everybody where they can find you on social media, TikTok,
Okay.
Instagram, plug your Your merch line?
Hell yeah. So if you guys want to follow my personal page, Jonathon Herrera, JONATHON _ Herrera, HERRERA 23. That's my main page. I kind of like post, some of my travels on the job, kind of like more about my life, but I try to do some cool stuff. So if you guys want to check that out, and then my Pearl Snap Pimps account, obviously it's at Pearl Snap Pimps on Instagram, and then my website is pearlsnappimps.com. So check out that merch. Got some really cool stuff coming up in October, November. The rest of the year is going to go crazy, so y'all stay tuned, man. I appreciate all the love and support.
Well, awesome, brothers. Great having you in here, man. Thanks for making the trek out. I know we tried to set it up a while ago.
Yeah.
When you're out in Hawaii, to do it via Zoom in like 6 different time zones.
Yeah.
But the fact that you could actually come in here in studio and do it, it's, thanks for making the trip.
Make anything happen, brother.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it, man. Thank you guys to everybody listening.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for checking out this week's episode. Be sure to subscribe on your favorite downloader app so you never miss an episode. I hope you all have a great rest of your week. Stay safe out there, and until next time, make every weld better than your last.